I think the government made an error. And they made the error because, again, using this cover of a desperate time, a critical time. We've been this road before. We were at a critical juncture in 2005 when the government needed to transform education. $5 billion was taken from the fund. And the legal advice then is clear as it is now. You would have to amend the law. So there was no need to have come to Parliament and go through all the ramblings. They could have very well come and presented a bill then as they have done. In other words, they were relying on subsidiary law, a regulation, which says the permanent secretary can request, or the Minister of Finance, whichever, can request from any public body surpluses. Now that's fine. That just gives you the power to request. But the legislation to give, that has to be amended. Because what if it is a solid trust that does not allow that? Then how does that work? And if that is the case now. So on the legal issue, I think the government was too trapped in crisis mode to have followed the law. Good legal advice would have explained, and I think they have seen that. They have come and amended. The next step now, was this the only thing to have done with the NHT funds? Will taking these funds affect the NHT? Are there constitutional issues? Because the NHT fund is not a tax. So it can't go to the consolidated fund. So are you going to change the law to treat it as a tax so that it goes to the consolidated fund? I mean, there's so many issues that they have to resolve, right? Because it is individual contributions. And even when companies contribute, they contribute on behalf of an individual. That's why the NHT maintains individual accounts. So it's just so many issues for the government to work on. So it's not enough to say, well, we are in desperate times and we just have to take it on. Because one should ask the government, could this $11 billion be used as part of a growth inducement strategy? Could it be a stimulus rather than be used to repay debt? Could it be used to develop a new city, a new town, to spur construction? I mean, there are other options. We haven't heard them. You know, I've always maintained that the NHT as an institution has outlived its purpose. Let's be frank. I mean, the NHT is over 30 years, and they have built less than 150,000 houses in terms of funding the actual construction of the development of houses. They have given quite a bit of mortgages, and the mortgages have helped to moderate mortgage rates. But I feel that the NHT could be totally reconstructed as the base of what is called a secondary mortgage market in Jamaica. It's an idea that I have put on the table already, and it's something that we are studying in depth now to see how that could work. There are many institutions in Jamaica, and institutions are like people. After a period of time, you have to reevaluate and reassess where you are. I think the NHT might very well be in that phase, as one person said, well, if the NHT has all this money, why are we still asking people to contribute? Listen, it requires government with vision. In a time of crisis, don't clutch at straws. You know, it takes courageous leadership, visionary leadership to deal with these issues.